Board meeting to order. Diana, please do the roll call.
Marcia White,
Here.
Nicole Harris,
Here.
Ashley Bailey, Andy Luther,
Here.
Stephen Lindsay,
Here.
Ann Fusen,
Here.
Andrea Usry.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated. Do you have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second that.
Diana?
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Andy Luther,
Aye.
Nicole Harris,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Ann Fusen,
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Motion passed. We don't have any correspondence, correct? Great. I do have one comment. Alu Italian.
Dear board members, on April 17th, my sister was suspended from Beach Park Middle School until May 1st, 2023 for violating School Board Policy 7-190, Item 21. Since then, she has still not been allowed to her home school to finish the rest of the year and graduate with her classmates. The district handbook states that the administration can suspend students for up to 10 consecutive school days, and only the board can remove students from school for a longer period. This is termed expulsion. The day after her suspension, I went to the school with my mother and sister in order to obtain paperwork detailing Emily's suspension, and were told that the letters would be sent that day and we should receive them within the week. The letter stated that we had 10 days from the incident to have the board review the suspension for an appeal. We did not receive these, which were postmarked on April 27th and 28th, and did not receive them until May 2nd. The letter also states that she had exhausted Tier 1 peer mediations and second step interventions, which my family was never notified about, violating our right to be informed of the code of conduct and appeal process. Her grades have dropped as a result of her absence from school, putting her scholastic future at risk since she has been accepted to a private Catholic school and cannot raise her grades. She has received a recommendation from Base Learning Program to return to her home school, but the district has sent her to Ombudsman, where she receives 3 hours of computer learning, which have failed to pick her up and drop her off on 3 separate occasions, violating her right to a safe transportation to school. If we cannot resolve this, we are prepared to take legal action against the school district for a violation against my sister to receive fair and equitable treatment without discrimination. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. On to the action items. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I second.
Roll call.
Andrea Usry,
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Ann Fusen,
Aye.
Nicole Harris,
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Okay. Those been approved. I'm going to turn over to Dr. Wilcox. Answering the question, Canvas and oath of office.
So we have the Canvas results from the election. Does anyone have any questions about the results from the election for the board seats? So Steve Lindsay was a write-in candidate. He received 18 votes. He was elected for a 2-year term. Marcia White received 729 votes. She was elected. Andrea Usry received 623 votes. She was elected. Andy Luther was a write-in candidate, received 24 votes, and was elected. At this time, we're going to have our board members who are taking the oath stand. You guys are going to repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm
I solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Beach Park School District 3
to discharge our duties of the office of 3
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
of Illinois. That's my
I affirm that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets, I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members,
Encourage and respect the free expression of
and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
accept the responsibility
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Beach Park District 3. I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community schools to advance the vision for Beach Park District 3. And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created. Fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development. All right, thank you very much.
All right. I have a motion to adjourn the school board signing day. DI.
Approved. Second.
Diana?
Aye.
Andrea Ustry,
Aye.
Nicole Harris,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
The motion passed. Now we're going to be going into reorganization of the board. So I have a motion to approve Superintendent Wilcox to serve as President Pro Tem.
I so move.
Any other nominations?
I have a nomination for Marshall White.
No. Okay. Nominations are now closed. I'd like to take a vote.
Nicole Harris,
Aye, for protest.
Okay.
Nicole Harris,
Aye.
Andrea Ustry,
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
All right, we're going to do nominations for the office of President of the Board of Education. Do I have any nominations?
I nominate Marshall White for president.
So I have a nomination for Marcia White for Board President. Do I have any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Andy Luther for Board President.
I have another nomination for Andy Luther for Board President. Are there any other nominations? All right, then we are going to take a vote. All of those in favor of Marcia White for the office of President, please raise your hand. All of those in favor of Andy Luther for the office of President of the Board of Education, please raise your hand. Secretary is going to tell us the vote results. Diana?
Ms. White received 3 votes, and Mr. Luther received 2 votes.
So Ms. Marcia White is now elected as the board president.
Thank you. Continue on for Vice President. Any nominations for Vice President?
I'd like to nominate Andrea Osley as Vice President.
All right. Any others? Then nominations are closed. And since there are no other nominations, Andrea is the new Vice President. Then on to Secretary.
If she'll accept, I'd like to nominate Ms. Nicole Harris for our secretary.
Any other? Nominations closed. And since we had no other nominations, Nicole is our secretary. Thank you. Now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Superintendent Wilcox for a report.
Thank you, Ms. White. So just a reminder, we do have the III conference, the joint conference for 2023. It will be November 17th through the 19th in Chicago, as it always has been. Registration is going to open on June 5th. If you would like to attend, please let Diana know ASAP. We want to make sure that, unlike this past year where we had to wait for a long time to find out what hotel we were going to be at and how many people, we would just like to know so we can register everyone right away and pick our first choice hotel and our second choice hotel. As far as summer hours go for 2023, summer hours will begin on June 5th and they will run through July 28th. The district office, like it was last year, will be closed on Fridays. But if you need anything, you can always reach out to any of us by email. Tonight, you have the final 22-23 calendar for the school year. It's just something we have to submit to the ISBE and the Lake County ROE just to show that we fulfilled all of our days of education. So we have to be able to submit that. So that's going to be an approval item for later tonight because we need board approval to move forward with posting it. Just a reminder again, we have 8th grade graduation promotion on May 23rd, Tuesday at the Genesee Theater. It starts at 6:30 p.m. If you are planning on attending, please let Diana know ASAP. We will be reserving parking for you and we would like all of you there by 6 p.m. if possible. May 26th is our last Teacher Institute Day of the year. It is the last day of school for staff, as students' last day is the 25th. We will be honoring our retirees as well as years of service to the district. We will also be handing out some extra awards this year, recognizing hard work of our staff, leaders in the district, and things like that. If you would be interested in attending, please let Diana know. It will be held at the middle school. We will be doing the award ceremony in the morning and then sending our staff and principals back to their buildings for the afternoon. Something else that's on the approval for tonight is board meeting dates for this coming school year for June 23rd through May 2024. So we want to make sure, take a look at those. If you have any questions, be happy to discuss those now if there's anything anyone would like changed. I believe, Diana, did you give a copy to everybody? So if you have a chance or would like to ask any questions about the board meeting dates for next year, now would be the time to do that.
I just want to highlight that I did ask you to change the August one.
Yes. So Marcia had asked about the August, it was originally August 7th. We changed it to August 9th solely because the week before that is New Teacher Institute Days. And then we start school on August 14th. The 14th and the 15th are very busy days with staff. So we didn't want to put the board meeting on the second Tuesday, which would be the 14th. So today, in meeting with Ms. White, we made the determination to move that to Wednesday, the 9th, before school starts. Are there any questions? Okay. Obviously, after this evening, we're going to have a board member vacancy. So board, would you like to discuss how you'd like to proceed with the vacancy we're going to have?
Superintendent, I'd like to direct you to post for the opening.
Okay.
And technically, I think there's going to be 2 openings that could be posted, even though we have not received the resignation of.
All right. Ms. Contreras and I will take care of that tomorrow. One last thing that I would just like to discuss. We had talked about potentially changing a boundary line in the district, which is always a tough discussion. However, after talking with LRP a little bit about that and then doing some work behind what that would look like, we have some very crowded classrooms at Howe Elementary School in the district, as you all full well know, due to our dual language program and the expansion of that going up grade level by grade level. We have an opportunity to change one street over for the OC boundaries for Oakcrest. If we move the boundary by one street, it would help alleviate 57 students from Howe that would then be transferred to Oakcrest. I would plan on having individual meetings with every parent of a student that is affected by this potential boundary change, but I would like to know and open it up for discussion if it's something the board is willing to look into and vote on this evening. Does anyone have questions?
No, but I think it's a wise move. it's a way to open up house school, which is too many students in. I think it's a great recommendation. Applaud you for looking into that.
Thank you. Anybody else have questions or thoughts about that potential boundary change? Mr. Lindsay?
Yes, we discussed it in last meeting a little bit and gave you a thought, and I appreciate you running with it, getting the data, looking deeply into it. Reorganization of a school district boundary is not something that a board really wants to tackle, but this is a small move that can really help our district in a big way and resolve some issues for a long time, it looks like. So thank you for everything you did. Fully support it.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. Does anyone else have any questions about it? It impacts 57 kids and creates an opportunity to move between 4 and 8 students at every grade level to make a transfer from that general education class at Howe over to OC. Thank you, Ms. Usry. So it is on the agenda for approval, possible approval, so that will be an item to vote on later on this evening. That is all I have for my superintendent's report. Thank you, Ms. White.
Thank you, Dr. Wilcox. Any questions on old business? Not. Moving down to department reports. Any questions for our Director of Business, his report?
I think you might have skipped over a bunch of stuff. Specifically going back up to new business. Long-range planning, I'd like to give a report if I can.
Sure.
Long-range planning did meet this past week, talked about a number of things, but wanted to start with the preschool program. Seems to be on schedule, should be breaking ground for foundation sometime in the next few weeks. There were a couple items, number of items actually, that were not included in the original proposal bid for the building, and those items are being looked into right now. A couple of items that we're going to be asked to vote on tonight and in the future, specifically is the communication for the HVAC system, the BAS system. We received a bid of about $51,000, which is being asked to vote on. We recommend that be done. Also looking at the alarm system, the fire alarm system, the communications for that. Still doing bids on that. We'll be coming back with that at a later date. But just so you know that there are still some items to be approved for that building program. In our board packet and what we will be voting on later, also Canon provided some new bids for you just before this meeting started. But the Beach Park Middle School has in dire need of some upgrades. We've talked about this in the past, but in the clocks and the PA system and such, there are some upgrades required or needed, and the LRP group does recommend we proceed with that. When we get down to department reports, I'd ask Canon to expound on that since we're seeing this for the first time. We believe that that is a necessity, and I think Ken's did a good job of identifying ways to finance that that we can handle. Support of that. That's in my report.
Thank you, Mr. Luther. Finance Committee report.
All right, good evening. The Finance Committee met this evening. We discussed the end-of-life paging system at Beach Park Middle School. We also talked about the BAS installation at the Early Childhood Building. Discussed insurance update. There will probably be a meeting sometime next week to talk about possibly updating the MOU for the insurance MOU. And also discussed the transition from Old National Bank. This was an update, and now that the new board members are seated, we will move forward with that. We reviewed our monthly finance bills, approved the treasurer's reports and bills, and that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. There's no CEDAW report. Okay, any questions on the building report? Great. Now the department report. Any questions?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
I said, well, now we can go to department reports. Any questions?
Well, I'm not sure where you're going, if you're going down the list or what, but I would ask Cannon to expound on his replacement of the paging system for the middle school.
Thank you, Board. LRP and middle school was implemented back in 2002, so it's in need of some upgrades, as we mentioned. And previous building and grounds director looked at the system to see why is the scheduling not working, coming in sync. They brought in third-party vendors to take a look. We still had some issues with it, and current middle school principal came to me this year and said, one goal I would like is next year to have our bell system really working and functioning so that our transition between classes are seamless. It's very important for students to move about throughout the building. Taking a look, I was able to find two different solutions that are going to really not only address that bell schedule, but also is just more than that. It's not a standalone system. It's one that we can manage. It comes onto our network, so we can manage and push unified messaging, emergency messages, etc., those kinds of things. Should we continue to expand upon that, we can really integrate that and control messages from remote anywhere in the building, from the district, to send messages out, while also addressing the bell schedule issue as well. The biggest change you're going to notice is the cost. When LRP and finance actually saw the updated cost, the recommended approval is decreased quite a bit because we can leverage our current clocks and integrate them with our current system. So it went from 131,000 down to 94,000 and change. But the exact amount is in your updated packet. So, any questions?
Annie, can you talk about the end of life for the rest of the systems and the plan?
Absolutely. So thank you. All the buildings are in a similar, as what I call a legacy system. They're not on the network. You aren't able to manage. So one area, Newport, I know Mr. Anderson and I have discussed some of the issues as far as add-ons there. Crest Elementary with the early childhood will look at, again, looking at a similar system, again, makes sense, right, to have one system to manage. So if we're going to extend that early childhood building, I would recommend, and I'll bring that to you guys, to make that unified system so that we can manage from one pane of glass, and make that bell changes and mass messages so much easier for our staff. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. See, we had a FOIA request. Any questions on the FOIA request? Not. Do you have a motion to adjourn to closed session?
That we adjourn to closed session.
I second.
Diana?
Andrea Osry,
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Andy Luther,
Aye.
Nicole Harris,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
We are adjourned, and we'll into open session. And we'll start out with our consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the bills and treasury report, the personnel report.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Diana?
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the press policies?
So moved.
Second.
Diana?
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye. And those are approved. Do I have a motion for approval of the 2022-23 final calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Diana?
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
And approved. Do I have a motion to approve the school board meeting dates?
So moved.
Second.
Diana?
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Approved. Do I have a motion to approve an amended version to this?
Make a motion to approve the amended staffing recommendation.
I second.
Diana?
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Okay, approved. Do I have a motion to approve the replacing the EOL paging system?
So moved.
Second that.
Diana?
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Approved. Do I have a motion for the possible approval of the boundary change between Howe and Oakcrest?
Ms. White, can I just make one comment about that? I want to be really clear, that would not start until next school year. So it would start with the 23-24 school year. We will not make any changes for the remainder of this school year. Okay?
So moved.
Second that.
Diana?
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Approved. Do I have a motion for approval of the BAS installation on the new group type units at the Early Childhood Center?
So moved.
Second.
Diana?
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Andrea Usry.
Aye.
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye. Great. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Diana?
Ashley Bailey.
Aye.
Andrea Usry. Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Nicole Harris.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.